Hello everybody, and welcome to another show and tell from me, Peter. This time we'll be having a look at the Citizen Aqualand Promaster depth meter with the number JP1010-11L. Now the 11L refers to exactly this model that has the blue dial. It does come in other colors as well. Okay, first of all, let's get some stats out of the way. Right. This is a 200 meter dive watch. It has a screw down crown and case back. Unidirectional bezel, obviously. Hardened mineral glass. Stainless steel case and rubber band. No secrets there. This is what one calls an analog digital quartz movement. And for those of you who don't quite know what that is, the analog refers to the hands and the seconds hand, and the digital obviously is the two digital screens here that tell you information. Okay, it has an underwater depth display, or it can display down to 260 feet, which is 80 meters. Water temperature indicator, so it can tell you how cold the water is. It has a dive log memory of 4 dives, which means that the last 4 dives you've done with this watch, it will remember and can tell you the stats on that. It has a depth alarm, which is just there to tell you if you've exceeded the maximum depth limits that you've pre-programmed. Dive time alarm, the same thing. Have you gone past your dive time? It'll alarm you, tell you that. It has a maximum depth indicator, which I think is just what it says, maximum depth indicator. And it has a rapid ascent warning. For those of you who've seen my other videos know that I've actually been in a dive accident once where I did an uncontrolled ascent, and I remember distinctly the rapid ascent warning alarm as being very loud. It wasn't this watch, but another Citizen dive watch with the same function. It has obviously an alarm, full auto calendar. Battery life is about 2 years. It has a low battery indicator, which is quite cool. So you know you're not jumping in the Bering Sea with a nearly finished watch. So the dimensions are 44 millimeters. The thickness is 14.5, and the weight is 108 grams. Right. Okay. Right. I had a look on the internet, and I found out that. I did a search on YouTube and of this watch, and there were actually a couple of videos on there about this watch, but not where anybody was actually saying anything. It was one of these videos where you have a lot of pictures and music in the background, and it's all very pretty, but you still have to read up on it. So I decided to make this video. So this model is not a new model. It's quite an old model. It's been in the shops for a while, but it is still being sold. So you can go out and get a new one if you want. It's obviously part of Citizen's Aqualand Promaster series, and it's not an eco drive watch, so it just has an ordinary battery, but it does have all the functions that a semi-professional diver would want in a watch. Now, when I say that, people are probably thinking, "Oh God, you're an idiot." No diver would use just this watch. I know, even when I dive, I have a dive computer which I trust and rely. But being a diver and knowing that there are dive watches out there who have all these fancy things, you just want one. And so a diver normally wants, a dive watch, and this is one of the watches that is quite popular in my country, in Denmark. I remember seeing it on quite a few wrists, when you're getting ready to go in the water. So Yes, of course, divers used dive computers, and that's, you know, when you're underwater, you look at your dive computer. That's the one you trust. But it is like a backup. It's like when a U.S. Navy SEAL has a backup gun. This is like the backup dive computer. Okay, so let's have a look at the designs of it. If I were the designers of this watch, or if I were to redo this watch, I would give it another bezel. I think this bezel is maybe a little 90s, but you know, but there you have it. But it's not displeasing in any way. It's just I would have liked to go in a different, you know, more big thick ceramic bezel thing. But this is the bezel it's got. And here is the pressure chamber, as I like to call it, and that's actually where the water comes in and you know, presses in on some technological marvel, and then it tells you how deep you are. Over here, yes. Well, you see that there we just need to focus. There you are. Right. By the way, as you can see, there's a scratch on this one here, and this is a used watch. I got it yesterday, and I haven't. You know, it's not in pristine condition, but it's very good for the price I paid for it. Okay. Now here's one for you guys out there. I'm not quite sure what that is. My first, you know, idea was it might be a helium escape valve. But then again, I remember on the other Citizen dive watches I have, which had similar things, you know, you can actually activate the dive sequence by licking your finger or putting your finger in some water and then pressing it on there. So if this gets wet, I think it activates the dive sequence on the watch. So, which means you can actually just put on your equipment and strap on the watch and jump in the sea, and then it should activate itself and start it's telling how deep you're going and so on. It might actually be both. It could be a helium escape valve and a water activated switch or something like that. I'm not quite sure. So if any of you guys know, it's a bit embarrassing that I didn't actually check this before I made this video, but you know, that's how I am. Not always running on full throttles, but if you guys do know what it is, you know, write it in a comment under the video, and that would be great. Thanks a lot. Anyway, obviously these buttons are for the different. You know, this one is to set the watch. These are to activate the different modes and to change the digital display. So all in all, I mean, yesterday I checked up online what these watches are being sold for today, and they're being sold for about, I think, you know, 200, 225 pounds. I saw some a bit more expensive, but you know, that's the price, and and I think it's well worth it. You know, it's a good watch. It's a handsome watch, and it's a very, very nice Citizen watch, dive watch. Anyway, I don't think I can think of anything else to say. As I said, there weren't really any videos of this watch online, so I thought I'd make one, and here it is. I hope this has been helpful to somebody, anybody, and if you have any comments, please write them underneath. And with those words, I'd like to say thank you very much, and catch you in my next show and tell. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye-bye.